Welcome to my Star Citizen money making guide. We're going to start off by earning the 2.6 million credits to enable us to purchase the Drake Vulture salvage ship. First off, the way that I made the money was to accept these 50k hauling contracts, which require you to pick up cargo from Virginia Point and then deliver them to Riker Memorial Station. We can actually stack these contracts as we have plenty of room in our Cutlass Black, which allows us to earn money a lot faster. If you don't own a ship with a fair amount of cargo space, you can always rent a Cutlass Black from any station that's got a refinery shop. You can then do this loop over and over, which helps earn money towards the 2.6 million. Virginia Point and Riker stations aren't that far apart, so it allows for an easy hauling loop whilst being incredibly profitable. Once we've accepted the contracts, we're simply going to fly over to Virginia Point, load up, and then we bring the cargo back to Rikers and get handsomely rewarded. Now we've arrived at Virginia Point. We're just going to send the elevator down, and you'll see we've got all the contracted cargo on the right. We're just going to drag them all across to the freight platform, and then once that's done, we're going to lift it all up and load it into the back of the Cutlass Black. I'm going to speed this up. I'm going to load the first couple of boxes in, and then I'm going to speed this up. You can see we're on 1.8 million there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 50k missions on the go at once, so that'd be a nice 300,000 credits once we make this one delivery. Once we've dropped the cargo onto the elevator grid, we're going to send the elevator down via the control panel. You can see there it's got all of the cargo mission requirements. I'm going to send that down and collect our money once the contracts have completed. Sometimes they bug out, so you just sort of have to live with that. Just reactivate the missions and try again. Right, once you've got yourself to Lawville, you're going to come out your hangars, up the escalators. You'll see the rental kiosk here. We're going to skip that. We are now heading to New Deal. Okay, this is where you buy all your ships. This is located at Lawville and Hurston. Once you've saved up yourself 2.6 million, okay, just over that. Once you've got your 2.6 million, you've got to head up into the shop. Grab yourself the kiosk on the left. We are going to get ourselves the Drake Vulture. This is going to be your money printing machine. Here we go. This little beauty here. It loads. You gotta love Star Citizen. Oh, it's kicked us off. Anyway, Drake Vulture. There's Drake. 2.6 million. Purchase. Confirm. Let's go pick it up. See you down at the hangar. And here we go. There she is. There she blows. This machine, this beautiful spacecraft, is how you're going to earn as much money as you want. In we get. Fire her up. Engines on. Gonna press Alt, left Alt and N. Request. Hangar. Open. Should have enough clearance now. Not that big a ship. We are going to try and head to beautiful Glen. Very laggy around here. Yep, we're going to head to beautiful Glen, and we're going to see if we can get the asteroids around the station. We're also going to set it as our home, our respawn point. And I'll see you when we get there. We are now back at beautiful Glen. Just going to request a hangar. We arrived in one piece. Let's go in, and we're going to want to store the ship once we get in there. Okay, we are now arriving back at beautiful Glen. Got landing gears down. Requested our small hangar. We're going to want to go in, and we're going to store our ship, because to put anything on it, like to upgrade the utilities, you need to have it stored in the space station. Platinum Bay, there we go. We're not going to have enough for the quantum drive. It's not even here. Have they got the upgrades? Yes. I'm going to buy yourself another one of these. And then we're going to head back to the hangar, and we are going to equip it to our Vulture, and we'll see you when we get there. Okay, once you're at your hangar, you want to press F1, and we're going to go down to Vehicles. You're going to choose your Drake Vulture. It must be stored to do this. We're going to go to Utility, and then the way I've laid this out is we've got slot 1 and 3 will be one arm, and then slot 2 and 4 will be the opposite arm. Doesn't matter which way around you do this, but you want one of your arms to have the tractor module and the abrade, and then the other arm, as long as it's just got the abrade on it, we're ready to go. Okay, we are now going to check it again, so press M. That'll work. That works. Alright, okay. I'll see you out in the asteroids field. Okay, so you're going to hit tab to do some pinging. We're going to scan for multiples of 2000. We've got an unknown source there, 9500. So that isn't a that's not an exact multiple of 2000, so that's no good. We've got a 12,000 and a 12,000. It's probably the same panel site. Right, now each one of these little markers is going to be, hopefully, a panel we can scrape. As we get close, you'll see them all floating about. These are the ones you want to start with. They look like they could have been scraped already, which isn't surprising because we're so close to the station. As we get close, we're just going to slow it down. Not been scraped. So we're going to hit M. And then we are going to Alt and A to select just the left hand side. And then we're going to right click it to change it to tractor module, and that lets us grab it. And then holding R, we can scroll wheel and flip it around. Okay. And then right click to select the scraper module again up here. And then left Alt and S to bring them both online. Now I like to get within about 50 meters or so. And we're going to hit G for gimbal mode. This lets us move the scraper modules around without having to move the ship. And we're just going to start scraping. Scrape all the panels around me and I'll pop back. Probably speed the footage up. So that's the first hopper field up. We are going to jump out. We're going to unload it to our cargo grid. Crazy how one and a half big panels has filled us up. Let's get this all moved. So access this panel. We're going to turn on auto eject and then eject. I'm not going to go crazy and stack it all down here like some people do, because I've actually blown up a few times whilst transporting it to sell it and you lose it all. So Just to start with, we are just going to stick to the grid. That gives us 12, and then we can get 13 more in the hopper, which gives us 25 SCU of RMC to go and sell. I'll load this up and then I'll be back when we're done. Okay, so we are now nearing the end of the final panel scraping. So we filled our cargo grid up in the back, and we're just going to fill the buffer. I know it says it's full down there, but I don't like to leave panels unless they're 100% scraped. So we'll get this last little bit off, and we will head back to the hangar. I'll show you the next step. Okay, we're now back. What we're actually going to do is hit F4, and we're going to try and line ourselves up with the freight elevator on the right. Oh, hang on. Lost control there. Okay, and we're just going to try and get the back pointed at the elevator just so it saves time unloading and putting the elevator down. So like I said, we've got 12 SCU crates on the cargo grid. We're going to empty those out first. Open the doors. And then this gives us a good angle just to grab them. Swing them in. What we're actually going to do is we're going to repeat this process until we've got at least 47 boxes stored. And then when we've done that, we're going to use our Cutlass Black, load it up and then go and sell it. We're going to see exactly how much we can get from Cutlass Black load full of RMC. So I'm just going to load all these in quick, probably going to speed it up, and I'll see you once we've loaded it. Okay, that is the 12 that was, oh sorry, the 13 that was out of the hopper and the 13 that we stored up in there to bring back. So we should have 26 there going down. Plus we've already got 4 in there from a previous run, so that's 30. So once we fill up our grid and our hopper again and come back, we'll get the Cutlass out. We'll fly over to the sell point, and we will calculate how much it is for 47 SCU of RMC. I'm just going to cut to me loading the cutlass black up, because this is just rinse and repeat. You go out, you find your panels, you scrape them, and then bring them back here to store. So I'll see you when we've got the cutty out and we're loading it up. Right, we are now ready to load up our cutlass black. We're actually going to store 46 SCU in this. I got it wrong before. I said 47, but this actually holds 46. So we are now just going to jump out, load it up, and head over to our sell point. Right, so we're going to come over to our freight elevator, going to send it down to storage. I've actually been farming the panels offline for quite a while. So we've definitely got more than 46 SCU. So we're just going to count them all in. It says up there on the top right, if you lose count. So it's got 37, 40, 46. You can see I've got probably the same again there, if not more, to do after this. So let's bring it over to the elevator and send it back up. So we're just going to grab them one by one and chuck them on board. The Cutlass Black does still suffer from this back area here. If you push one of your containers too far, it bounces around and then glitches underneath the deck underneath. You might see that now as I bring it in. But I'm going to do my best just to stay quite close to it. Sort of eye it in best I can. There we go. So I'm going to get this all loaded up and then I will see you once it's done. Okay, and we are all set. I think it bugged out a little bit there, but as long as every single slot is full up, we should have the full 46 SCU ready to fly off. Okay, we're actually going to head over to Orison to sell this. There is another trade location that pays slightly more, but that's in Pyro. I'm not going to head over to Pyro yet because for the extra amount of money that you get for this haul, it's not going to be worth the risk of traversing through to Pyro and back. So let's take flight. Open the hangars. Landing gear up. And while we're waiting for the doors to open, we are going to set our location to head to Orison on Crusader. Okay, and we're going to head across there, and I will see you when we have arrived. Okay, we've now landed at Orison. We're going to leave the cargo attached to the grid because I do believe the trade terminals will successfully detect all of these as long as they're attached to the grid. If you was to fill these gaps up in between, really cram boxes, you can probably get another 6, 7, 8 there, 10, probably get another 16 to 20 more boxes if you wanted to risk your ship blowing up. But if you were to do that, you'd have to manually take them boxes off and store them in the space station freight elevator for it to be able to detect it. So I'm going to head on over to the trade terminal, and when we get there, I will total it all up and see how much profit this is. Okay, so this shuttle will now take us to the Cloud View Center, where we're going to find the trade terminal for this area. Okay, this is the Stratus Trade and Development Center. We're just going to head on in, scoot around the entrance and access one of these terminals. So the location we're going to choose is the Cutlass Black because the cargo was on the cargo grid inside the ship. For some reason this is really laggy here at the moment. Also, I've had to choose the the option above it. So instead of Cutlass Black, I've gone select location. Because when I choose the Cutlass Black, it just doesn't do anything. So select location. And then max. So it's going to sell the 46 SCU for just about $500,000. We're going to click sell, and it's going to take 2 minutes, and we're going to pay $2,000 to automatically unload it for us. But we don't mind because it takes a couple of minutes to get back to the hangars anyway. So we'll happily take the $2,000 off and confirm. So you'll see up there that we haven't made any drop off since we bought the Vulture, and $500,000 isn't bad. It might take you 1 to 2 hours to get the $500,000, but if you enjoy salvaging, the RMC is well worth the effort. Okay, so I think there's actually a bug at the moment because it didn't transfer from my ship and didn't give me payment. So what we're actually going to do is try again, because if you see there for the auto loading it comes up with an error. I think that means we've got to do it manually. So you can, instead of running back and then back here, you can click sell, untick auto load, hit confirm, and it says waiting for pending result, awaiting manual delivery to freight elevator. Sorry. So we're going to have to run back, unload it manually, and send it down the elevator, and then we should get payment. Either way will work, as long as it's not bugged out with the auto loading. Right, okay, moment of truth. Let's see if the manual loading's actually worked. If it hasn't, we're going to have to run all the way back to the TDD and do it manually again. I'm not sure if this place is bugged out completely or not. Wouldn't surprise me though with it being 4.0 live preview. Yeah, it looks like it's just put it into my local inventory, yeah. Right, let's run all the way back and I'll see you when we get there. Okay, so we've just changed servers to see if it's now working. Let's have a look. Maximum, confirm. Success at last. So if you see the current balance now, we have got 500,000. So that concludes the guide. If you've got any questions, just chuck it in the comment section. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. Thanks.